What is the adult version of finding out that Santa Claus doesn't exist? When you buy an 8-piece Tupperware set, 4 of the pieces are lids. I thought I'd grow up, move out, find my footing in the grown-up world and basically switch into cruise mode. Now I'm in my 40s and shit is confusing as fuck. That some friends were never really your friend. Being a hard worker and good at your job doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be rewarded for it. One dumb mistake and it could all be over. Sometimes there is no justice. When I was a kid I thought adults had everything figured out and couldn't wait to grow up so I could be like them. Ha. You can do everything right and still fail. The reverse is true as well. When you realize basically everyone is just faking it till they make it. Finding out that your parents are people, too, with weaknesses or flaws that you were blind to when you were young. That time period when your relationship switches and your parent looks to you for answers and advice, instead them being the one with all the answers. Finding out that someone you have looked up to and admired your entire life is actually a horrible person. For me it was realizing the high school mindset in people never and see it in 60-year-olds in Facebook now. Finding out that reaching retirement is about hitting a financial number and not reaching an age. That going to college and getting a 9-to-5 wasn't going to be the fun, creative, latte-filled experience rom-coms would have you believe. $500 isn't a lot of money. Working full-time and being too drained to chase your actual dream. You never actually feel like the adult. Realizing that no, we can't have McDonald's, 'cause there is food in the freezer. When both your parents die. I am in my mid-50s and had my mom pass on Mother's Day 22. My dad then was living with us from then, and eventually reached in-home hospice status with a sudden stage 4 cancer diagnosis. He died in January of this year, and then I got laid off from my tech job and was unemployed for 10 months. Nothing takes the wonderment and positive outlook from the world than having to empty out your childhood home solo and throw everything you grew up with into a big dumpster and are left to wonder what our lives really mean. There are no hot singles in your area. That working harder does not equal getting paid more or being promoted. Realization that your parents are not as smart as you once thought. Finding out people without empathy exist. And they are hard to pin down, even after many years of exposure to them. Spending time trying to understand why something happened often doesn't lead to answers, and can only prolong your healing process. Sometimes closure is moving forward and not ruminating or trying to figure out why. Most of the relationships in the teen dramas you loved would actually be toxic as hell in real life. That fruits and veggies expire much faster if you pay for it yourself, sad face. Realizing just how high the deductible is on your insurance. HR is not on your side. Learning that 2 people can love each other more than anything in this world and still not be a good fit for a long-term relationship. True and pure love isn't always enough. A bachelor's degree is not a coupon redeemable for one full-time job in your field of choice after graduation. Realizing you'll probably never have the aha moment that tells you what you want to do with your life and you'd better just pick the least depressing choice. Credit scores were invented in the 90s. When you finish eating your dinner and there is no magical person to wash the dishes and you have to wash them yourself. For me it was finding out those HGTV shows are all more or less staged. Summer camp is more for the parents than for the kids. Discovering all the shows and movies you loved as a child were crap, and you just enjoyed them because you didn't know any better. That doing what you love for a living and not having to work a day in your life is a very dangerous choice. When you turn your passion into job, it no longer becomes an escape or a hobby, it is now your livelihood. Stuff like doing art, streaming video games, Opening your own etc shop and expecting to take off like a rocket when it's never that easy, and most people who do it are either very lucky or have been prepping for a very long time. Doing this can cause you to lose your passion and love for it so much that you may never want to touch it again. Finding out that you're getting older, which means getting uglier, less mobile, worse health, etc. You can delay poor health to an extent, but one way or another, it's coming for us all. That there are no adults. Everyone's just doing their best.